So here in the Seattle area, gas prices are still about $5 a gallon. They were closer to 6 not long ago. And a few months ago, I recorded a video about why I kind of like the gas prices. I was hoping it would get people to conserve a little bit and live on the easy side of things, right? Not commute so much, not drive so aggressively, work remotely more. I was hoping it would get people to settle down a little bit. I got a lot of dislikes on that video. I think in the long term, high gas prices will make us settle down and be a little bit happier. I really do. But of course, in the short term, there's going to be adjustments to make. That's how I feel about it. But in this video, I got to swallow my pride a little bit and talk about some anxiety that I've experienced surrounding high gas prices. And feel free to chime in on your own stories. I had 3 interesting, colorful experiences that I had this past month. I had gone to a Walmart supercenter and I had parked my car. I make it a habit when I get into the parking lot to just park in the back of the parking lot. I love getting exercise anyway. It saves the gasoline of getting closer to the front of the parking lot. So I stop my car and instantly I hear a truck driver shouting that he needs to, I'm blocking his way for whatever reason. I didn't want to hear him because I didn't want to move my car again. I was having a lot of anxiety involving putting gasoline in my car. I just didn't want to expend the few teaspoons of gasoline just to move my car a couple of spaces. I know, just a lot of anxiety. It probably wasn't all that much, but at the moment that this was happening, it was weighing heavily on me. So I pretended to not hear / understand him and tried to carry on my way. And he got out of his truck. He tapped his hand on the hood of my car, and that really upset me. And I shouted, "Fuck you," at him. And then I wanted to just go into the Walmart, but I worried that he would vandalize my car. And so I bit the bullet and moved the car closer to the front of the parking lot, but I was upset. So after I finished my shopping, I found his truck in the middle of the parking lot, and I gave his tire a good kick. It wasn't enough to do any damage or anything, just to show my frustration with him. And I gave him a middle finger, and he returned the middle finger and laughed at me. And long story short, it probably wasn't worth it. The anxiety from the gas prices probably got the better of me that day. And a bad experience. I get a call. I work at a tutoring center. I get a call unexpectedly. My boss had another tutor who had some kind of emergency and asked if I could fill in. And I went there, and an hour later, he says, "Oh, you can go now." Now, you gotta understand, I live like 20 minutes away, so that's a 40-minute drive. Spend an hour 40, and then I gotta spend gasoline. And I'm really frustrated that after an hour he has the audacity to let me go. And I left with a very frustrating attitude. Didn't cuss, didn't put, I thought better of than putting my middle finger up or cussing, because we had students in there. If it had just been my boss and I don't know if I would have done that. But my frustration showed, and I think my students saw. One of the students even asked me if I was okay, and he was a little bit too young to understand the concept of gas prices and the workplace dynamics and all that. I just had a bad day. That's all. I think it was about 7, 8 years old, but it was bad enough that a 7 or 8 year old could see. Now, a couple days ago, I was driving from Bellevue to Redmond, and there's this place where you have a downhill grade and it ends in a stoplight, and I see that the light is red, and I stop my car closer to the top of that hill, thinking when the light is about to turn green I can let go of the brake and slide down that hill, conserve again a few teaspoons of gas. That's how desperate I've become about the gas situation. And I'd already turned the engine off, and there was hardly anybody behind. There were 2 cars behind me. It wasn't backing up traffic, but both of those cars were honking and cussing at me. I was watching the perpendicular lights to see when they would start turning red so I could turn on my car and not delay traffic. And by the time the perpendicular lights had turned yellow, I started the car again and put the car back in drive. And by the time I got down that hill, everybody was zooming past me. because they didn't realize what I was doing. They thought I was just playing a prank on them. Anyway, I normally wouldn't do any of this. Normally, when I run into people working at the Walmart parking lot, I'm usually very grateful for them, and there's a sense of camaraderie. Normally, if it's a one-off situation requiring an odd shift, it's like we're all in this together. But when you throw high gas prices into the mix, it threw a lot of anxiety into all of these situations. It's really interesting to watch.